Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana and I love to encourage you to get out of your own way. I am doing my December reset, and if you have watched any of these videos, you know I love to reflect before I get into what I'm planning to do for the new month. This is also in the midst of Vlogmas, so definitely make sure you check out my Vlogmas playlist so you can see all of the things that have been going on over in my world. Welcome to my channel if you are new as well. I have a lot of things happening over here. I talk about entrepreneurship. I'm a business coach as well as a mentor, really just helping you to see that it is possible for you to make your dreams happen, whatever that may be. Over here on my corner of the internet, I really like to put an emphasis on entrepreneurship, but really that can look very different for all of us. And it's all about what are the desires in our heart and how can we make it happen in our season with our capacity, with the current things that we have going on around us. There's always a way to make it happen. And so that is why I love to share these reset videos, because it's just another way for me to look back, just to see like my progress and my growth, but also to just encourage you all as well to just reflect on what you've done and really come up with a plan of action for what's ahead. The first thing I always love to do is I have my journal here that I like to do all of my reflections in. So we're going to be diving into this in a moment to talk about my lessons and my wins. But the other tool, which I'm sad, y'all, this is the last month of the power sheets, and then I'm going to get into the new one, which if you do watch Vlogmas, you will be seeing a ton of videos of me using not only this, but the Inspire Blueprint Planner, which is from my shop as well. Lots of planning videos are coming and just content around that. So if you love all things planning, like stay tuned, subscribe, make sure you are locked in for Vlogmas because we are going to have a great time getting ready for 2024. But this is the last month in these. Like, what? So I am also going to be sharing some things out of here as far as just some memories and reflections, and then kind of what my game plan is for December. I'm going to keep it pretty simple and chill because, again, Vlogmas is going on, and if you've ever done Vlogmas or if you know how it is, it can be a lot, trying to keep up with the content. So we're going to get right to the point in this video and really to the heart of what I want December to be. So the first thing we're going to touch on is lessons. And I'll be honest, it really took me a moment to kind of think about what are the lessons that I learned. And I think sometimes if I'm not actively thinking about it throughout the month to be like, ooh, this is a good lesson, So there are probably other things that have happened that I am just not even thinking about right now. But I wanted to touch on the ones that came to mind when I was sitting down to plan this video. So the first one is community is key. I think I am learning that more and more as I get older, as my daughter gets older, as I just have different endeavors and things that I'm trying to do. Community is key, whether that is the people within your household, if that is your extended family, if that is friends, neighbors, whatever it is, like community is so important. And so I really have been craving community a lot. And so I just feel like over the last month, I really got to see little glimpses of what it truly means to have community and people that are around you and support you, root you on and are always there for you, pick you up when you need a little bit of extra encouragement. And I'm so grateful for those people being placed in my life, people being placed in my life, even those that I'm still getting to know and those that have been around for a while. Like I'm so grateful in this season just for my family, for the support that I have. My husband really stepped up a lot, especially with me. Just this past month, I was working on a lot of business things very heavily with my orders, trying to get them out. And so I haven't been able to be as present in certain areas that I typically would be. And so that has been amazing. And just my friends and my family pouring into me and just seeing me, I'm grateful for that because sometimes we need it, And so community is key, honestly. And if you don't like your community, then I think the biggest thing is to figure out how you can start making efforts to get to the people that are truly who you need to be with, surrounding yourself. And even also like my membership ladies as well in the Inspire Blueprint membership, like that community is key. Like they keep me going in certain aspects and they really give me something to look forward to. I love our calls. I love the relationships that are being built, and I'm just so grateful for that community. And so yes, community is key. Definitely. So that's lesson number one. Another lesson that is kind of a surprising one, but not in a sense of like, oh, I'm kind of shocked, but just surprising that it would just randomly like appear in a lesson. It's kind of like a lesson, but it's also just it's a lesson, but it's also a reminder, I guess. It's so random, y'all, too. So for Thanksgiving, we went to my grandparents' house, and my grandmother got a karaoke machine for her birthday, okay? And if you know anything about my grandmother, like, she is literally like the life of the party. She loves to sing, she loves to dance, and she loves karaoke. And so over the years, she's had like different things try to do karaoke. And so my grandfather decided this year he was going to get her a literal like a legit karaoke machine. Like, it had microphones, the sound is amazing, like just the whole nine. And so we got that, and we were doing karaoke. And first of all, it was just so much fun. Like, y'all, that was the most fun I've had in a really long time. Like, the amount of laughter and just smiling, and like, we legit just, everyone just had fun, and I just was so grateful for that moment. But in that, I don't know, maybe some of you have been around for a while, you may know, some of you may not, but I have a background in music and singing. And so I love singing, y'all, okay? And this is what I literally wrote down. I miss singing is the lesson. Anytime I sing, like, it just brings me joy, like pure joy. And I mean, I could just be in the house. I might be in the car. Like, Emery hears me sing all of the time. Like, it's an outlet for me that I don't really get to do very often, and so I just sing a lot in the house. Like I said, I'm doing concerts for my daughter all of the time, or in the car. And so doing the karaoke, while it was fun and exciting, it really like just made me feel so sad in a sense. Just because I love singing, and I don't really get to use my voice anymore. I used to sing in church, but we haven't really found a church here that I'm like fully loving, and so I don't really get a chance to do it in church. I don't know, and it's one of those dreams that like I always had, and it's something that, I feel like I'm gifted in it. God gave me that gift, and I just don't really get a chance to use it. And so that was really something that I realized, is how much I miss singing, like how happy I was, just doing karaoke. But I mean, it was like a legit sound system, so like I was like, okay, I'm sounding pretty good, and then just like hearing like my family, we had a family friend there, and just like the feedback was amazing too. It's just because I just don't really sing for people anymore, and I haven't in some years now. And so yeah, I mean, I just miss singing. I don't know what that means or what it looks like, but I legit miss it. Like, it was something that was my life. Like, I literally would wake up and sing. I would write music. I would play piano. Like, that was my life for so many years. And it's just so different now. And every now and then I just, like, it'll come up and I'll think about it. So like I said, it's just like a reminder. And I was definitely reminded of that this month, of just like, man, like, I miss singing. Like, I miss having that way of expressing myself creatively. And yeah, so that is the lessons that I have. And so now I'm going to get into the wins for November, because like I always say, like, we want to reflect, we want to look back on things before we can really know how we want to move forward. I also wanted to just share like a couple of things here. So there's a page in the Power Sheets. It's called the Month in Review, and it happens at the end of each month. And they have a spot for gratitude, good things, goals that grow well, what's not working, what I read or listened to, and favorite memories. So between that and then also the wins, they kind of go with some of the wins as well. So I'm just going to touch on some of these things really quickly to just share. And I always would love, like, down in the comments, let me know, how was November for you? What were some wins for you? What were some lessons that you had? Like, I would love to hear about it as well. So wins wise, I put a couple things down. The first one is that I read the entire book of Proverbs for the month of November. And I am proud of myself for that, because I have never read a book of the Bible before, in a sense of like just reading it for understanding, not having a devotional, not really having a rhyme or reason or a plan, but just simply because I'm like, okay, I want to read it. Now, there is a YouTuber, her name is Marissa Brienne, I believe, and she kind of announced on her Instagram that she was reading it and just was like, hey, if anyone wants to join in, I'm reading it for the month. And so I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Now, she didn't really give like any prompts or anything. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was just literally like, I challenge you to read it along with me. And so it kind of left me like, like, oh, there's no resources or anything. And so I did it. I basically, for the most part, did it every morning when I woke up. Occasionally I had to do it in the evening, but just maybe once or twice. But I would wake up. First thing I did, I would usually let the Bible app read it to me, and then I would just kind of read it and follow along in the Bible. And then I would find a sermon or something on YouTube, or just like a video that really kind of broke down that specific chapter within it. And I really enjoyed it a lot. I think the biggest takeaway from Proverbs for me is that having wisdom and having the know-how when it comes to being a person of faith and just being a good person in general, it is not easy, and it is literally, you get two choices, right? Like, you can either choose to try to go the faithful path, the path that God wants you to go down, or you can choose what they were calling like the wicked or the evil, or, just the path of choosing to not do good, right? You kind of just have those two options. And there were so many just different ways of how they explained it. I feel like I got called out a couple of times. And so it was really, really good. And I definitely encourage you as well, if it's not Proverbs, but if it's something you're thinking about, like, I probably a year ago would not have been able to do this. I think I would have been very intimidated of like, what exactly am I doing? I need some kind of questions or something to follow up. But it was really good. Like, it just kind of gave me a chance to just read it, get my general understanding. I have a study Bible, so I was able to read the notes from that as well. And it just gave me an overall gist of the book as a whole. And so I'm really excited. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing for December. But yes, that was definitely a win. Also, I completed my pre-orders for the planners. Finally, thank the Lord, they are out to everybody, and so I'm really happy for that. There was so many setbacks, y'all, okay? And I shared some of them in some of the vlogs that I've been sharing, but it was just setback after setback, and I'm like, man, like, this is crazy, But they are finally out, so that is definitely a win. As well as me and Emery, we finished our first, I guess you could call it like semester, I guess is technically what it is. It's like the first 90 days or so of our school year. And that is, of course, very exciting. If you don't know, I'm doing homeschool with my daughter, and we have been having a great time over here learning. I mean, we have our days, it'd be some rough moments. It'd be some times where I'm like, ooh, what am I doing? But for the most part, like, it has been so amazing to just see her just over these last few months of us like intentionally doing everything each week, and just seeing her grow and learn. And we're going to be getting ready to start addition soon. And yeah, I'm just really proud of her, and I'm proud of myself for sticking to it, and just continuing to come up with just good content for her, like plans, and just making it exciting as much as I can. Like, at the end of the day, at school, kids aren't always going to want to do it, but we really keep it fun, and she's been enjoying it. So I also put a little note on here that my mac and cheese was amazing. Like, I love making mac and cheese. And that was the dish that I did for Thanksgiving. And I just wrote that down there because it was a win. Like, anytime you make something and it be good, it's a win. Okay. So that is that. And then just a last little bit from the month in review part of the Power Sheets. A couple of things. I kind of mentioned I'm grateful for my community, my friends, all of those things. I'm just super grateful. And I'm also grateful that we had a chance to spend time with my family for Thanksgiving. Some of my husband's family was able to join us as well. And so it was just a really, really nice time. And Emery got a chance to be with her cousins, which she loves. So overall, like, I just really think this was just a fun month, just in terms of being able to spend time, even though it was also a stressful month as well, just with me trying to get the orders and things out. It was just a good time overall. And also a lot of really rich conversations with my membership ladies too. And so I wrote that down as gratitude. And then as far as, okay, so now we're going to get into the struggles. So I have a couple of struggles down on here that I wrote down. So the first one is, what's not working is what this is basically. So prioritizing healthy eating and cutting back on sugar. Y'all, when I tell you, I go in with the best of intentions, okay? I'm always like, yes, this is the month I'm gonna cut back, Sugar addiction is a real thing, and especially, like when it's that time of the month, or when I'm having a stressful day, or just when different things come up, I tend to gravitate towards grabbing something sweet. And so that is definitely like my Achilles heel when it comes to the healthy eating. And I definitely have been in seasons before when I've been able to cut back on it. So I know I can do it. It's just a matter of like getting that mindset together. But it has definitely been a struggle, and I'm not even going to sit here and try to play or lie to myself. Like, I know that it has been. So I'm really hoping at this point, I'm really more so saying like, okay, in the new year, I think I'm going to start and I'm going to do a Daniel fast. I've done it the last couple of years, so I think I'm going to do it again. And I think it's just kind of a great way to reset. I'm also looking into like some different detox things as well. I've never really done those before, but I feel like overall, I think it'll just be good for my health. And so I'm really researching them heavily. To find what's the best fit for me and my needs and exactly what it is that I'm trying to do, you know, like my goals I want to accomplish, because I have a lot of things that I really want to work towards, and I just want to be the best version of myself and just be in the best health I can be, because I want to be around, you know, I want to be around for my daughter. I want to be able to do different things. I was actually just talking to my husband the other day, like I really feel like next year I want to do something sporty is what I was saying, but like I would love to just do something that's so just out of character, whether it's like getting into running or joining some kind of sports team or something. Like, I really want to just do something like that because I want to challenge myself in new ways. So I don't know. We'll see what that entails. Stay tuned. And that just kind of segued a little bit, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But it all kind of stems from me having to just get strict when it comes to certain things. And I'm not going to say I'm never going to eat sugar, but I definitely need to cut back. Okay. And then the other thing is I put on here is internalizing parenting struggles. Y'all, if you know, you know, okay? If you are a mom, you probably know what I'm talking about, okay? Like, it is so hard raising kids. It's so hard, and I know that there's only going to be new challenges as they get older, you know, and I think that's kind of like the thing that makes it like a little bit nervous, because it's like, okay, I know like I'm feeling like I'm in a difficult stage right now, but me 2 years ago felt like she was in a difficult stage. And then I talk to women that are older and they have teenagers and they're like, they're in a difficult stage. And so I think parenting is just like a constant roller coaster of where you feel like, okay, I figured out my kid and woo, some problems. And it's just a constant thing. But the part that I really am focusing on with this struggle is that I internalize a lot of things. And this is something that I know that I personally need to work on, but I tend to take things personally, you know? And so my daughter, like, she had made a hurtful comment to me this month, or in November, it's now December, but she had made a hurtful comment to me. I know she didn't mean it, but it like really hurt me because, you know, like it made me look at like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And it wasn't even a situation. I mean, I guess I can really just mention it. She basically had just said something along the lines of like, I'll just get a different mom. And it wasn't even like anything had happened. You know, like we had had a great night. We were hanging out and it was time for her to go to bed and she was getting upset. You know, how kids get. And so she just said it and I was like, oh. But it really, it hurt my feelings so much, y'all. Like even now, like I could probably start crying about it. Because I do so much for her, you know, like I really go out of my way to make sure she has everything she needs and then some. And, it's just really hard sometimes, you know, as parents. And I've had conversations with a couple of different women and I know that they feel the same way. It's like kids will pull out the what's the word I'm trying to say? Why can I not think of my words right now? I'm sorry, y'all. Kids will pull out your insecurities. That's what I was saying. Your insecurities. So if you're already feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, that can be pulled out in some way, you know. And a lot of times kids don't know better. So it's not like I'm not still harboring it against her. You know, like I had my moment, I went in my room and I was like, ooh, okay, you know, but kids don't know better. You know, they're learning how to communicate and everything. So it's not so much that, but it's like, it doesn't matter whether they know better or not. The way that we take it on as parents, sometimes it can feel very heavy. And so, you know, just with different things, like if it's behavioral issues or things she may say or do or whatever, and then I feel like I directly look at myself and I'm like, you know, like I just, and it's a constant battle. And so it's like, I am just trying to be the best mom I can. I know I'm not perfect. I know that there are things I could be doing better. There's things that we should be cutting out. You know, like you hear all of these different parents doing different things and it's always like no one really has the correct way to do stuff. And you don't know what is necessarily right, but you do what you feel is right in the moment. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think these are just things that when you are a new mom, sometimes people don't necessarily just share all this stuff with you, mainly because, you know, you're excited, you're pregnant, and you are wanting to have this baby. But becoming a mom, it's very heavy, and it comes with so many things. And it just requires so much inner work in order to be able to show up in the best way that you can, and again, not internalize the things that happen. So yeah, that is a struggle of mine that or what I said is not working. And so with that, a solution that I'm planning to do is definitely finding a therapist again and kind of getting reestablished. We've moved, so I'm sure I have other options of like therapists now, and just talking to someone. I think that that's really going to help, honestly, just with this transition in general and just life. I think it's important for me in this season to have that. And so I was going to be doing that anyway, but even more so with me just seeing how much I can harbor some of those things, I'm like, yeah, I think I probably need to get into some sessions with someone and just kind of talk through some things. So that is that. The other thing I wanted to just share on here too is that I did read One True Loves. I finished, I think I shared it in a past vlog, but I finished One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It was really good. And then I ended up watching the movie that they did. I did not like the movie at all. The book I thought was really, really good. But the movie, they could have kept it for me. Like, I just didn't like it. The characters didn't look nothing like what they described in the book, and it was just a no. And then I also put The Garden Within by Dr. Anita Phillips. It was the book that we read for the membership, and absolutely a life-changing book, a wonderful book to read. Add it to your list for next year because it's definitely a really good one. So now I'm going to get into December and kind of what I am hoping for December, what I'm planning to happen. First off, some important to-dos and stuff that I have going on. And I'm just literally pulling this from this page in the Power Sheets, which is why I love it so much. Like, it's so easy to do a reset because like everything's literally right here. Okay, so as far as to-dos go, I am, for the month of December, we are doing what I'm calling Christmas school. So we're still doing our regular lessons for the most part. I've kind of gonna take it to our basic core. So we're gonna be doing our math and our language arts and reading, of course. And with that, I feel like writing naturally happens because we do writing and all of those things. But then as far as like science and social studies, I've decided to kind of flip it, and we're going to do some just different fun crafts. So like we're going to be making snow globes. We're going to be making our own cake pops. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of crafts and just like learning about how people celebrate Christmas, or if they celebrate Christmas in different areas of the world. So it's going to be really fun. I'm really trying to make it fun for her. So like when we get in here and it's time to get started, it's like, okay, yes, it's school, but it's like, ooh, what's the fun thing we're doing today? So that's my plan. I also have a lot of like books and stuff lined up for some read alouds and things that we'll have going on throughout the month. And then towards the end, probably the last like week and a half, we will have off, and then that will go into the first week of January. So we'll have a decent break as well, but I really want to make this month fun. We also got Elf on the Shelf happening in here as well, so that's to do every night. I gotta make sure I change it around. Also, I was thinking about doing a Pilates challenge, but I don't know. The month is kind of already starting now, so I think at this point I'm like, you know what? Let's just do the whole January thing for that. But I am going to still, my plan is to continue to just move my body and get active at least 3 to 4 times a week, whether that is with a walk or going to a Pilates class or something like that. Like I need to continue to keep doing that. So I'm going to do that. I have a goal of reading at least 3 to 5 books this month. December is always a great month for me to like plow through reading and really get through some of the books I truly wanted to read and haven't had opportunity to. I absolutely love romances, y'all, okay? And I actually, on deck right now, I have Colleen Hoover's All Your Perfects. So that's the book I'm going to be starting off with, but I'm hoping to read about 5 of them this month. So we'll see how it goes, and I will definitely share, probably during Vlogmas, what I'm going to be reading. Vlogmas is a to-do, of course. And then really the biggest other thing I have on here is to plan for next year. I think just naturally December, you want to kind of set yourself up for what you want the new year to look like. And it's no different for me, honestly. Like I love to sit down and plan for the year. But actually one of the ladies in the membership asked me, you know, like she was saying, when you are getting into a new year, do you tend to plan for the entire year, or do you do more of like a quarterly thing? And I am a quarterly girl at heart, but I do like to get a big picture of the year. So what I like about the power sheets, I usually will use the power sheets kind of for just a big picture of everything. So whether that's personal, family stuff, business things, I kind of do it all in here. And then I move my business stuff into my planner. And then I kind of have my personal stuff get allocated to, wherever I'm executing certain things. But I really do like to get a big picture. So, if it's birthdays, if I'm planning on doing a sale for my business, if I know there's a trip coming up, like I like to get all that stuff on the calendar early on if it's not already on there. And then I like to just really focus on the first 3 to 6 months. So 3 months very heavily. I'll get into that and I'll plan it out and just decide like, okay, what are the things I specifically want to launch in these months? What do I want to do? Like I'm going to be planning out homeschool themes. I'm going to be planning out things we're going to be going to go do. All of that stuff. I want to have that pretty much somewhat solidified. Even if I don't know the exact date of something, I'll know like, okay, in January, I know this is happening. And then I get a little bit more loose in the spring. Like if, let's just say an example, like, oh, I want to bring my podcast back. I may not know exactly what month, but I know in Q2, I want to bring it back. So I'll do things like that. And then for the remainder of the year, usually I kind of just wait and see, because sometimes by the time I get to the summer, I might be feeling burnt out. Like I kind of just like to see what's going to be happening, to kind of get a better idea of what I want to do. But I always try to plan at least a couple weeks ahead of a new quarter. But I always go back to kind of like what I do around this time of year to see if what I planned out to do still fits. And then I go from there. So yes, that's a big to do for me. It's just to sit down and plan for the year. And one of the things I'm probably going to vlog a little bit of it is in the new power sheets, I'm going to be filling out the prep work. And Cultivate What Matters, they actually do a prep work week. The prep work is basically, it's like the first shoot. I want to say it's like 30 pages long in the beginning of it. And it just walks you through all of the prompts you need, all of the questions to reflect, and then to really get intentional about what you truly want the new year to look like. I love the prep work, y'all. It's my favorite part of the power sheet. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. But that is going to be a part of it. So kind of that's all roped into planning for a new year. And then honestly, just other things that I have on here, just like I really want to do more Bible studies. So I am going to be doing an Advent study. I'll actually show you it. And so it's called Good News, Great Joy. And this is from Daily Grace Co. I love Daily Grace Co. And I have a lot of their Bible studies. But this one, I actually picked this one up because I'm a part of a membership called The Womanhood that is led by Tori Oglesby on YouTube. So that's how I originally found out about her, when I was first like researching homeschool and stuff. And then she ended up launching this membership a couple of years ago, and I joined. I've actually been a member. It'll be a year in January, I think. And so they are doing a Advent Bible study with the ladies in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Because I didn't know what I was going to read for December. I'm like, I'm coming off of the high of Proverbs. I'm like, what's next? So when I saw that, I'm like, yes, because it will keep the habit going, because it's literally, you read every day of December. There's a plan in here. Let me see. You can kind of see on here where it's got just like different days. It's got different days that you read on. So this technically for me, it's going to start tomorrow. And they even have suggested dates. And they even have suggested dates that you read it, which is kind of cool. So like they have a calendar in here. So this is what I will be doing for December. But I had it on here just to do more Bible study. And so that is exactly what's going to happen. And I think it's going to kind of jump around a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I think it jumps around. There's no specific book. Is kind of just really touching on a lot of different things. So it'll be really cool. But it has like a memory verse. It has prompts. It has a reading that goes along with it. So I'm really excited to dive into it. And then every week, at the end of that week, then they have a live where you can get on and kind of like chat with the ladies that are taking part in it. So even more so, I love that because it's kind of got like the community aspect. So I think that'll be wonderful. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it as far as what I want to share on here. The only other thing is typically what I do like to do in December is to slow down. Usually towards the second half of the month, I always have kind of made it unofficially like around December 15th. So it'll probably be somewhere around there. It's typically when I will like delete Instagram off my phone. I will really lessen the consumption of all of like the outside social media things. I usually sometimes will still be on YouTube. Like YouTube, I'm still gonna be posting Vlogmas and all of that, but I really limit a lot of what I'm on because one, I really like to be present with family during the holidays, but I also really like to just start the new year fresh. And I feel like whenever I take that break, I go in with, it's just so much nicer to just go in with not a lot of distractions. And then whenever I do finally get back on Instagram, I'm always like, oh, hey, like it's been a while, you know? So I will be taking that break. It'll probably be around like 2 to 3 weeks or so. On top of us also having the homeschool break. So I feel like it's going to be a very like refreshing time for me. Like it's needed, and I'm anticipating it's just a couple of weeks. But yeah, that is basically what's going on. And yeah, so I appreciate you all checking in with me for my December reset. I really hope that the month of December is absolutely amazing for you. I hope that it is full of joy, memories. I hope that it is full of just breakthrough for you, you know, especially as we are getting ready to get into this new year, of just getting clear around what are some of the strongholds that you've had? What are some of the limiting beliefs that you've had that stopped you from achieving certain things in 2023? And how are you able to use this month to propel you so that when you go into the new year, you are more than ready to conquer any and everything that you have on your plans, in your planner, on your vision board, on your lists and your journals, and whatever it is in your mind. Like, what is it that you can do in the month of December that will really set you up for the biggest amount of success possible for January? That is my hope for you, is that you find that clarity and that you are able to realize that you can do this. You can make this happen no matter what. I'm here. I am rooting you on, and I will see you all in the next video.